Welcome back, rail fans. We are beginning our late night here in Dade City, Florida. We have made our way up here on the night of July 16th, 2019 to meet a very special loaded ethanol train headed for Tampa, K42314. Rare, look no further. The train is K42314. The power is two Canadian National Locomotives. The first one being an SD75I fitted with a K5LLA horn. From what I've heard, there are only 3 of these locomotives on CN's entire roster with K5LLAs, so that on its own is a rarity, as well as what was trailing, a Canadian National C44-9CWL, referred to as either cowl units or comfort cabs. Regardless of what it's referred to as, both of these units are extremely rare this far in Florida. As usual, the last shot of our chase came in Plant City, Florida, as the 2 Canadians made their way through downtown at midnight on the dot. The K5LLA horn definitely made its impression at midnight in Plant City.
Got a clear Lake Wells Junction. One lane, not supposed to be in.
And under the light of the full moon here in Plant City, Florida, our chase comes to an end. Usually this would be the end of the video as well, but it's not.
Appreciate the heads up, over.
Only a couple days go by before we're back out again. We had planned another trip out to Central Florida, which, on our trip, we happened to catch the exact same ethanol train going back north. So about an hour short of midnight, we're here in Richland, Florida, just past Vitus Junction, where the Vitus sub from Lakeland and the Yeoman sub from Tampa converge and head north as one. So, out of the darkness comes K42218. The reason I kind of exaggerated that was because, for whatever reason, the engineer was calling as K42018, when, as not too many people will know, that train does not run anymore. I'll explain the deal with all that in a moment, but regardless, here came an empty ethanol train off of the Yeoman Sub with the same two Canadian National Locomotives pounding their way through the night. With some fairly recent railroad changes, Tampa has lost most of its ethanol trains, these being K421, K425, and K427. Yes, these trains do no longer run. The only ethanol trains that Tampa will get anymore are K423s, most often, K476s, and K708s. The northbound empty versions of all those trains are just one number down. So for example, K423 is empty as K422, and you do the math. So this train was obviously actually K42218, but for whatever reason, the engineer must have been confused and was calling K420. Our chase continues on for a few more miles before K422 stops at the north end of the Vitus double track at the control point Ellerslie. Why are they stopping here, you may be wondering? Well, a little ways up the track is a much higher priority train coming the other way, QO4518, a southbound Tropicana and intermodal train from Jacksonville, Florida to Tampa's Uceda Yard. Tonight he had no juice, but he had to come by Ellerslie anyway, and K422 had to stop in the siding to let them go by. Took that opportunity to make our way up to the Dade City Depot, and it's a good thing we did because K422 was right behind. With QO45 out of the way, K422 would not have to stop to meet another train until he met Q603 a few hours from now. So 422 was able to run his engines wide open, to the point where by the time we got to downtown Bushnell, he was doing above 60 and we could barely gain on him. So, with all these circumstances piling upon us, Lake Panisofsky was our last shot. We pulled up to the railroad crossing, and while my friend jumped out of the car to try and set up his tripod, I stayed in the car and shot the locomotives. Our chase would end here in Lake Panisofsky under the light of the full moon once again. As we discussed earlier, Tampa has lost many of its ethanol trains due to previous railroad changes. As of July 20th, there are also many other changes going in that will affect traffic around Plant City and Lakeland. For a full description on this entire change, please go check the community section on my channel and find the post captioned July update, as reading it will hopefully help you to better understand things that I say later once I catch these operations in the future. So, in Lake Panisofsky on the Wildwood Sub, this is Kotabeaner out.